are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 10 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan.
Brought to you by Progressive. The Siegel Foundation has announced more than $320,000 in new grants to support local organizations. Among the recipients, the Farm Worker and Landscaper Advocacy Project will receive $20,000 to improve conditions for low-wage workers in agriculture, landscaping, and related fields. An additional $300,000 is being distributed among 10 nonprofits. This summer, Brightside Theater is bringing the magic of Broadway to Naperville Parks with their Fun in the Sun, a Broadway musical review. Audiences can expect an energetic showcase featuring hit songs from acclaimed musicals such as Wicked, Guys and Dolls, Hamilton, Hairspray, and Once Upon a Mattress, among many others. The Forest Preserve District of DuPage County is inviting proposals for the future of Oak Cottage, a Greek revival farmhouse dating back 175 years in Naperville. Green Valley Forest Preserve, recognized as one of Illinois' most endangered historic places, Oak Cottage was built by early Naperville settlers and remains a rare example of its architectural style.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Credan.
This weekend is what summer's all about, and Macy's July 4th sale starts tomorrow with deals on everything you need to celebrate. Hosting? Turn your backyard into a party destination with 40 to 50% off outdoor entertaining. Beachbound? Turn heads in this season's hottest swimsuits, sundresses, and more. Get away with the kids? Superpower their summer with 25 to 60% off toys from Nerf. Plus, don't miss Macy's 4th of July fireworks live on NBC and Peacock. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
I am Tricia Grosser, and this is what was happening in Elgin 100 years ago, June 30th. Elgin's recent crime wave, as well as a series of daylight burglaries in Aurora and DeKalb, was declared cleared up today with the capture last night of Ray Woods, alias R. Wilson, an 18-year-old bandit. The capture came 3 hours after he had shot and robbed Carl Bone, proprietor of the grocery store at 691 Wing Street. Police are also holding Fred Breeding, Elgin youth, suspected of having been implicated with Woods in the series of local burglaries. Bone was only slightly wounded in the left arm, 5 inches above the elbow. Woods fired upon the store proprietor without warning and then ordered him to toss over the roll or have his head blown off. Grabbing up $149, which Bone had placed in a bank book, the bandit ran through the store and continued east on Wing Street. Bone notified the police and then, armed with a rifle, took up the chase. Information furnished by the Elgin Department resulted in the capture of the youthful robber in Aurora. A police investigation resulted in the apprehension of Breeding, who is employed as a bellboy and elevator operator at the Fox Hotel. Elgin robberies and burglaries are expected to be cleared up as a result of this capture.
Elgin 100 years ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 years ago at www.elginhistory.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Today, partly sunny with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 11 a.m., high near 88. Tonight, partly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 1 a.m., low around 64. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 85. Currently, it is 78 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And, of course, spending money. Oh, yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's teen driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org. Finding a reputable business shouldn't require luck or chance. But how can you tell who you can trust? Pro tip, the BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. So think of the BBB as the better, check with the BBB first because better businesses are honest and commit to high ethical standards bureau. That's why they're better. Always look for the sign of a better business and find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Out to Lunch here on WRMN AM 1410, broadcasting live here from Studio 14, serving you, the Fox River Valley area. Thank you so much for tuning in today and being a part of the conversation here. Remember, we are on YouTube, youtube.com at WRMN Radio, and of course on the AM 1410 dial. If you want to hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so that you can always keep yourself up to date and in the loop with what's happening here in the Fox River Valley, what's going on here on WRMN AM 1410. What I want to do here is just quickly run through the weather forecast that we are going to be seeing here for this week. Of course, we are coming up to 4th of July weekend. Maybe you, of course, got some fun plans. There's so many different things that you can do and places that you can go out to. So today we do see a high of 88. We're going to be seeing some clouds, or currently seeing some clouds right now. Possibly isolated thunderstorms happening this afternoon. That percentage is about a 20% chance, though, so more likely than not, it won't happen with that percentage. We're going to be seeing it dropping down to 64 degrees for tonight. That humidity is at 74%. Into Tuesday tomorrow for June 1st. 87 is our high, mostly sunny skies. Dropping down to 65 is our low with our humidity at 69%. Clear skies for Tuesday. Into Wednesday here, we are going to be seeing a high of 89 with humidity at about 48%, so not as humid. And we see it dropping down to 66 with a 66% humidity there. Humidity at 66%. So that is some clouds early giving way to generally clear conditions. So hopefully a little bit of a cooler night coming up for Wednesday. Thursday rolls around. We see a high of 90, mostly sunny, dropping down to 70 as our low for Thursday night. Humidity at 65%. Having here on Friday, we've got here partly cloudy skies and a high of 94. That'll be for 4th of July. Into the weekend, we do see isolated thunderstorms and showers. And then eventually into next week, Monday, a week from today, 86 is our high with a low of 65. So that's what we're going to be seeing here for the rest of this week and also into next week. We've got here in the comments section, good morning. Thank you, Crystal, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in as well. We've got Dennis Sonar Green here as well. Good morning, WRMN, and a very good morning to you as well. I know that we just did the community hour here. That was with Dennis Sonar Green and myself. That was from 9 until 10, and you can listen to that. That is Monday through Friday for the community hour. Now, of course, here on Out to Lunch, we like to talk about local businesses, places to go to, things to see. And I'm so excited here. I have a very special guest that is on the air with us today that will be helping us out a bit here. I'm very much excited for it. Please welcome Jennifer to the stage here. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you today?
I am as good as I could be this morning.
Awesome.
You know how that goes.
Yeah,
You know?
Absolutely. You've got those days sometimes you're like, oh, running around, all these things, but I'm glad you're here.
Yes,
Very glad you're here.
Me too. I'm excited.
So you're Jennifer Sanchez. You are you work with Wise Alliance Network. First of all, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur for like the last 20 years. I've been a big networker, definitely a big community grower advocate, right? Also, I'm a mom of 3 little girls. Well, one's almost an adult. So,
oh my goodness.
You know, I have an adult daughter. And then, of course, you know, one of my biggest things is I like to do a lot of personal and professional development for businesses and entrepreneurs out there and just really kind of help out with, you know, not only working on the internal things of like time management, goal setting, and, you know, boundaries, conflict resolution. I also like to put together boot camps and kind of help out entrepreneurs with, you know, doing a business plan and kind of just figuring out your marketing and your branding and stuff like that.
Very cool. Tell us a little bit. So it's called Wise Alliance Network. Now the word I believe Wise is that initialized?
Yeah.
Is that the right
So the funny thing is, I actually started my organization back in 2018 at coffee shops. I would put together just workshops and I would invite women out. Didn't know how successful that was going to go. And I just said, hey, who wants to come out and learn about time management, right? Mm-hmm. I've always been a mentee and I've always loved coaching and being coached. Mm-hmm. And I said, let me see, I have this knowledge and let me see if I put it out there, who's going to receive it? Mm-hmm. And I did it out in Berwyn, Illinois. And I had like 15 women show up. We did like a vision board event. Wow. And then from there I said, okay, there's an audience for personal development, especially for women. Mm-hmm. So then I kept doing more events, then started doing workshops, started doing retreats, started doing conferences, and just people kept showing up. Then I fell into the real estate world in the investment side, right? And started working with men, you know, maybe about 7 years later. And men would say, Jennifer, why don't you do events for men as well? And I was like, I didn't know that men needed events, right? I didn't like in my mind, personal development and business development. I didn't really see it at that time. But I said, you're right. You know, I should have like networking events and co-ed events, right? Why not? So that's where Wise Alliance Network kind of evolved. It was really called Wise, which was just for women, and then Wise Alliance Network. And it's more so because I feel like men and women do need to work together. And, you know, a lot of times, unfortunately, in the business world, you need some good advocates that are meant to help you scale up in business, right? Sometimes, you know, just being around women, it's great, but I've seen also men open doors for me that women couldn't, you know? So that's kind of where it all comes from.
Absolutely. This is, again, wisealliancenetwork.com. If you go to the website, you can find it. Bringing together entrepreneurs and real estate professionals seeking personal and business growth. Now, what's really great, too, is, of course, your Wise Coffee Chat show. Talk to us a little bit about this. This is pretty exciting.
Yeah, so I've been running this show since COVID time, and really it's just me going out there and kind of just meeting entrepreneurs, right? Going to different coffee shops, restaurants, businesses, and kind of just highlighting what they're doing and why they're cool, right? Or why their coffee is the best coffee. And it's all, during COVID time, no one was able to go out. Right. And it was boring and everyone was cooped up inside. Right. But then I was like, you know what? Let me do a show where I'm just talking to businesses over coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, it's as simple as that, just coffee, right? You don't think too much about it. But then, you have those conversations, you sit down and you can really grow inspiration in a community.
Yeah. Well, here's the cool thing that I really like. Well, what's your favorite coffee?
Oh my goodness. Well, my vanilla iced coffee with cream. I also like a cold brew. So I would say probably my favorite is a cold brew with like a vanilla sweet cream is my favorite.
And the crazy thing is when I talk to people, you kind of get to know someone's personality by what they drink.
I love it. Yes, totally.
Right. So I've met people that are like straight black coffee, no cream, no sugar, just give me plain black coffee, right? But then you have people that give more flavor and they like caramel macchiatos and double pumps of this and that. And you're like, oh my God,
Oh, when it comes to the fall season, I'm like, I don't get just the standard pumpkin spice. I get it with the shot of espresso. And then I do get it iced. So I add the espresso to it with the iced coffee. So I say leave room for an espresso shot. I know it's a little more, but I love it. And then you get the syrup in there, the pumpkin syrup, and a dash of cinnamon on the top.
Yep.
So I'm more creative during the fall times for sure.
And that sounds delicious, right? That sounds great. So I tell people all the time, you can go to Starbucks too and just ask for one pump of the syrup. You don't have to, if you do it, I do white mochas all the time.
Oh, nice.
But I say, they put 4 of those pumps in there. I'm like, no, just give me 1 pump, soy milk, no whip, trying to keep it as healthy as possible.
Yeah, I feel you for sure. Yep.
But yeah, so it's been fun because a lot of businesses have opened up their doors, restaurants. They want me to go highlight them, highlight what they do, their favorite drink or meal, depending on the some restaurants have more options, right, and not just coffee. So I've had so many different experiences with businesses. It's kind of interesting,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I even had one business kind of throw a shot of tequila in my coffee, and I was like, "Is this legal?" But it was kind of like a fun thing that he did because he asked me what's my favorite drink because he also served alcohol. So it kind of was like, this is on air though, but it was cool. So I've had so many different experiences, but it's been fun.
It's so cool when you think about coffee and something simple like that, or even coffee can be complex as well. But you come together, you sit down, you have a cup of coffee, and you talk, and you get to experience different cultures, backgrounds, personalities, and that's the beauty of it too. You could go to the same coffee shop, sit at the same table each time, get the same drink. But you meet so many different people.
Yes, and you know that scientifically, if you are communicating with someone with a warm drink in your hand, you like them better.
Really?
Yeah. So they say, if you're going to go on a date, right, go to a coffee shop because you'll be more likable because you have a warm drink in your hand.
Ah, interesting.
So little things like that, if you don't think about it. And I always feel like coffee shops are very inviting.
Oh, yes.
And warm, and it's a very neutral space to meet someone. And how many times do you meet a business person or entrepreneur and you're like, let's go get a cup of coffee, right? That's a very common thing in the business world, right? So it's kind of well, let's bring that in the show concept.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to ask you, what are some of your favorite coffee shops to go to? You have one in particular that you like? Do you have a go-to? Do you have one that you like to treat yourself to, an occasion?
Okay, well, I don't want to go to specific brands, right? But yeah. I'm definitely a Starbucks girly, right? I'm not a Dunkin' fan. I mean, it's funny. If I just need something real quickly, boom, just go to Starbucks and get my white mocha. You'd be fun, I love all type of coffee shops, and I'm trying to think the most creative and fun one that I've been to lately. I went to this Turkish coffee shop.
Okay.
It was out in the Lombard area. And I think that was the best experience I've had. I don't even remember the name of it, but I remember it was on Roosevelt Road in Highland. And all I remember was the community, the people there, the coffee was great. It was a different type of coffee, even the sweets. It was just like a whole experience. I think that was my most memorable coffee place to go, like to have an experience.
Interesting. Yeah, that's fun too when you go to different coffee places that are a little bit different. Maybe they have a little bit of different ingredients in there too. That's always a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit. So you've got, of course, Wise Coffee Chat. How do you reach out to different businesses and organizations and get them set up for these interviews?
Most of the time I kind of just pick up the phone and give them a call or reach out to them on social media, right? And I just say, hey, I got a show, do you want me to highlight you? Or sometimes I'm bringing a guest and I just need a space. So I ask, can I use your space? Like, for example, there's this coffee shop in the south side of Chicago called Brighton Park. I think it's called Brighton Park Coffee Shop. It's a newer coffee, back of the yards coffee shop. I apologize. And I brought a guest on the show with me, but I still interviewed the owner of the coffee shop, and it was still kind of like a fun thing where I had like 2 separate segments. But the owner was such a diehard coffee fan. I mean, he had coffee beans tattooed on his arm. Really? That's how much he loved coffee. And I didn't even know there were cherries, like to get the coffee beans. They're out of cherries, right? And that's when he was giving me the whole history of coffee. And I just think coffee is one of those things that, like, worldwide, everyone, it's the biggest produce, right, out there in the world, right? It's all over. Like, coffee's a big deal.
Absolutely. And it's also a big deal in the sense that it can bring people together with these chats. So that's really cool. Now, you've been on podcasts before as well. Tell us a little bit about that experience and how that experience can be similar and also different from when you host Wise Coffee Chat.
Oh, I kind of, right, I'm following your lead, right? So on someone else's podcast, it's kind of like, let me just follow the lead of the host and what they want to talk about. And I just kind of try to bring my personality, right, to the whole thing versus, when you're running it yourself, you're just trying to continue the conversation and trying to run with the flow and make sure that which you get it, right? You have to ask the right question to get the person to talk. And sometimes it's so difficult to get someone to talk that's not used to talking, right? Like, so I just love kind of taking the back seat kind of thing or taking the passenger seat and kind of just going with the flow with how the show goes.
Absolutely. Are there, have you had experiences where people are like real shy and then like they like open up and you're just like, oh, wow, it's so different from when I just first met you like 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, it happens all the time, especially with the coffee chat show. When I go, everyone's always nervous. Everybody, oh my God, Jennifer, I've never done this before. And they tell me, I'm like, just pretend like it's a conversation. We're just talking, me and you, don't even look at the camera, just keep an eye contact with me and you'll be all right. And then all of a sudden, like, they will always say at the end, I forgot there was a camera rolling, and I'm like, yeah, that's what happens.
You get sucked into the conversation and you're focused and then time flies by. You're like, oh my goodness. I'm sure you've had people who are like, that went by so fast.
Yeah. Which you get it, and it does, especially when they're an interesting person, interesting character, you're learning something new about them. It's fun,
Absolutely. How do you help to advertise Wise Coffee Chat so people know about it?
Well, the nice thing is I already have a nice following that's kind of like, they'll always share my content when I post it on social media. And then, of course, Instagram, TikTok, like I know those are the new things, that people love. So I'm also trying to create reels of the locations that I'm going to. So every time I go to a location, I'll create a mini reel of the space because people always want to know where's the next thing, right? Where's the next place I could go, right? And I've had people message me on social media like, Jennifer, you are putting me on so many places. Like, I'm loving what you're putting out there so I can go visit. So it's like, and then when you see people saving your content, it's like, okay, they're saving it because they want to go back and watch it or go to it,
Yeah. And that's great too when you open up the doors for people to see new places that they've never heard of because, you have followers and then you go to these places and then your followers say, I've never heard of this place before. I want to try it out now too, see how it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a good feeling.
It is. And then, I'm the person that has always been an advocate for the small business owner.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
I love being a voice for the business, because I just know that the small business owner, it's a grind for them.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then especially in the restaurant business and the coffee, just that field, it's more difficult for those businesses to be successful. Like the rate for them to fail is a lot higher than other businesses, right? Because even just being a small business, like the chances of the first 5 years, you're going to fail. And then if you don't fail within those first 5 years, you're definitely more likely to fail after the next 5 years. So if you have an entrepreneur that's been running for 10, 20 plus years, that they've kind of like really like stuck their heels in the ground and pushed through all that, because it's not an easy thing to do as a small business. So I've always been like, how can I bring exposure to businesses? How can I support businesses? Because they need it. And then even that's why I enjoy putting networking events together, because I always say, what's your lowest, your weakest day that you make the least amount of profit? So I can bring a networking event here and bring you 20, 30 plus people to kind of just network and buy from your restaurant, And most of the time, businesses love it. They're like, oh my God, this is great, because you're going to have a set amount of people at your space, right? So that's kind of always been my thing, is how can I always be an asset to people that I work with versus being a liability?
Absolutely. It's so great to be able to do this for businesses so that they can grow, they can get recognized. I mean, that's what we love to do here on Out to Lunch as well, too, is talking about local businesses, have people on the air, talk about what they have to offer, get that exposure, that recognition. And what's the great thing, of course, too, is now that we have so much technology that's growing, we can even expand on our own selves and how we utilize that technology so that it could be even more diverse experience with the different technology that we've got and ways to reach out to people.
Absolutely. I think that's what it's all about. I think sometimes people don't even know how to, there's so much technology that you don't know how to use it, right? How to take advantage of it for what you want. And then if you're passionate about it, it's easy, right? It's not forced. It's like, oh, I love doing, like I was doing the Wise Coffee Chat for 2 years, just because I love it. Just because I like to be out there and meeting people and doing this, it's not even it's like, oh my God, I don't feel like it's work. If I have to feel like I'm doing work, then I'm not having, I'm not going to keep up with it very long.
Right. You got to stay passionate about it,
Correct.
And there's always going to be days where you're not feeling at the best or at the top, and that always, that happens here and there too. But, if you're passionate about what you do, there's that saying, of course, you don't have to work a day in your life if if you love what you do, if you're passionate about what you do too. And it's always good to have that social network there too. You make so many different connections. You get to come onto other people's shows, and it's the whole reason why we have you here today. We're so excited because we want to have you starting here on Mondays for the 10 to 11 o'clock hours. We're so excited about that. Bringing you, of course, like we've been saying here, for Out to Lunch, going out to different places. Jennifer here does that. And so we're so excited to having her here as well. So I think it's going to be fun on Mondays. It's going to be a great time. Yes. You're going to be able to watch, listen, and learn and experience. And I'm excited to also, I'd love to go out to places as well too, even together, or, I think it's going to be a really great time, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. This is going to be fun. So, I mean, definitely, I'm glad that I'm on board with everybody here.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. I thank Dennis for hooking us up for sure.
Yeah, Dennis is awesome.
He definitely is. Yep. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a great addition. I think that this is going to be a great experience for everyone here. So we welcome you. I'm so excited.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to just bringing great spaces and places, and definitely highlight like those hidden gems that like I didn't know that was in that neighborhood, or I didn't know that was here, and I didn't know, and I always say like I'm proud. I'm a fatty, so like I don't.
Hey, me too. Oh my goodness, yes. I love my food. I went to the White Sox game on Saturday. I ate so much food. I was like, you know what? I'm not. I'm gonna eat my food. I don't care. Oh my goodness.
I get it. It's like no shame. Like just enjoy and indulge. Of course, right? You know, I kind of thought about it. It's like if I indulge too much, I need to make sure I'm always in the gym and kicking my butt because, like, you know, I also want to be healthy at the same time. But I do enjoy food. So it's like I'm a foodie. I love trying different places, and especially just again like places that people don't know about.
Absolutely. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on the air today. Of course, how can people find more information about you?
Oh, they could just definitely go find me as Wise Jennifer Sanchez on social media platforms. Usually, if you put wisealliancenetwork.com, you can go straight to the website, and all my username and all my platforms are there. And you can learn more about everything that I do.
Absolutely. So excited to be having you on board here at WRMN during the Out to Lunch segments here. Very much so. We're going to be continuing on, of course, to promote this as well, too. Check it out, Wise Coffee Chat on Facebook. I'll also make sure, of course, when we post this video on YouTube that you'll get those links as well. We'll keep sharing and spreading the information. And we're excited to have you on board here. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, let's get this show on the road, literally.
Absolutely.